Hi students, in this session we will be discussing the chapter election, civics chapter election. Children, do you watch news? Are you interested in knowing the current affairs? Yes, children, it is very important that you should be interested in knowing the current affairs. That means you should be able to know that what is going on in our country, what is happening in our country, how the government is functioning, and how the functions of officials of our country, how the politicians are working. All these things we should know. Any major accident in our country, how efficient the government is, means any section of our society is struggling in our country, or any injustice is happening with any individuals or the society. Are our women community safe? All these issues we should be knowing. That means we should be a responsible citizen of the country, isn't it? If anything happens, anything wrong happens with any sections of our country or an individual, that means next day it can happen with our own community or family or ourselves as an individual, isn't it? So that we should be aware of all these things. We should actively respond to all such kind of events of our country, so that means our government and authorities will be kept informed, and they will be aware of that citizens are very much active in our country. There is nothing can go wrong with the country or citizens. That means the effective governance is very essential for our country. So this awareness can be created. So current affairs are very important, you should keep in mind. So children, you know the issue, border issue between India and China. So China's military actions against India on border, even towards their own citizen, is right? Do you think that can you justify all the actions of China? Means anything happened, like even related to pandemic COVID-19, some media reporters, they tried to expose the reality. Some individuals came forward to speak about the reality, and all those people were suppressed. All the reporters were put in jail. That means there is no freedom for the people in China, isn't it? So whatever the government decide, that will be final. Nobody can criticize, nobody can raise their voice against the government, isn't it? But you compare with the situation of India. India is a democratic nation, isn't it? Here we have freedom. Our media channel, they can freely expose anything in their TV channels, and so people are kept informed that what is going on in our country. Only the thing is, nowadays, there is a what is a media channel. There are paid medias are there. Other than that, there are media channel, those who expose the truth. So we have, as a citizen, we have to be more sensible, we have to be more effective to know that what is truth and what is reality and what is really going on in our country. Anyway, whatever it is, in India we have freedom of press, we have freedom of expression, we have freedom of right. We can enjoy our life, means we can even criticize the government if anything goes wrong, isn't it? So children, there are different forms of government. Ours is a democratic form of government. Other than that, dictatorship is there. About Hitler, you must have heard about in history. He was a ruler of Germany. He ruled, he established a harsh and dictator rule in his country. So people had no freedom. He declared himself as the ruler of the Germany, and there was only one party. Which party was there? Nazi party, isn't it? So one party means what kind of rule can be. In India we have number of parties are there, isn't it? So all the parties are there involving in the governance of, all the affairs, but there was only one single party and one single rule. So that means no questioning Hitler, and he established a harsh and strict rule in Germany. So people's what is that, there was no will of the people. That means people had no voice in the functions of the government. Everything was decided by the ruler, the Hitler. So you know that Hitler in Germany, finally what happened in the at the end of the Second World War. All these stories, if you do not know, you can search it. Otherwise, in class 10, you will be studying in detail about Hitler's dictatorship in Germany. Okay, so there are different forms of government. Dictator form of government is there, and oligarchy is there, monarchy is there. Monarchy means kingship. In the ancient period, king's rule was existed, isn't it? Now, democracy, democratic form of government. You see, this term is nowadays becoming very much popular. You see that nowadays, out of all these, there are a number of forms of governments are there. Out of all these, democracy is accepted by the whole world as one of the best form of government. Children, in India, we have this one of the best form of government. We are happy to enjoy the democracy in our country. So India is the largest democratic country in the world. See, we attained this democracy with lot of difficulties. Once we were under the Britishers, you remember, we had no freedom. We were the colony of the Britishers, and there was lot of inequality. We Indians never enjoyed any freedom. We were treated like slaves, but our leaders, they fought for the freedom hardly, and they attained the freedom for us. Now we are enjoying the freedom of our country through the democratic form of government, isn't it? See, when we discuss about government, one small word is very closely associated with democracy. Which word you know? The word election, isn't it? In order to form a democratic form of government, election plays an important role, a major role. So we are going to discuss what is election, how are we electing the democratic form of government, how are we forming the democratic government in our country through the procedure of election. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to discuss all about election. So this is an introduction for the chapter election. So in next video I will be discussing about election in detail.